What are the 5 main things that you as a guy should never be able to allow to happen to you or in your surrounding? There's 5 major things that I want you gentlemen to never allow this thing to happen anywhere in your vicinity. Number one is, under no circumstance should you tolerate any way, shape, or form of disrespect. Because if some people are very good at masking the disrespect by saying, "Oh, it was just a joke. You don't get the joke. You're too sensitive. You're too emotional, and all that." No, it should never be like that. Once you decide it's something, you go for it, and don't ever compromise on your respect. If someone disrespects you, either you cut them off, never speak to them again, or correct it there and then. Immediately tell someone, "No, I don't like the way you're talking to me. Talk to me like a grown up." It could be your father, it could be your mother, it could be your brother, it could be someone older than you, it could be someone younger than you. But, gentlemen, under no circumstance should you ever tolerate disrespect from anyone. It doesn't matter who that person is. Don't tolerate disrespect. And also, this, on the other hand, calls you also to be respectful. Respect the people who are around you. Talk to them nicely when you are at a restaurant. If you are someone who like eating out, talk to people nicely. At work, talk to your colleague nicely. And then it's it's the same thing that you're not allowing to happen to you, and you start reflecting this now in the world. Yeah, and people will just, you will earn your respect of your colleague, your brothers, and everyone around you. Now, this will lead me into number two. Number two is, never allowed to be taken for granted. It doesn't matter who that person is. Maybe you're in a relationship, and whoever you're in a relationship with is not really appreciating the person that you are. The least you can do is to tell them, "Okay, I understand your frustration, but I will walk away." If you're not being taken, I mean, if I'm being taken for granted, then the best thing for me to do is to excuse myself politely and walk away from the situation. Because anyway, people who take you for granted, there's a message that they are always sending you, but very often you don't get the message. They're taking you for granted, and what they're telling you is, "I can replace you with someone that is better than you." And if that's the case, narrow down their option and shut that door. And never again should that door be open. Well, very often people who take you for granted are often also people who will disrespect you, because they know, yeah, it's just another parrot in the room that can easily be replaced. So, gentlemen, under no circumstance should you ever allow disrespect to find its way around you or in your vicinity. Don't allow that. Don't allow anyone to take you for granted. Number three, never allow anyone toxic to remain in your life. Kick them out. Kick them out. And, and it could be you setting your boundaries, and someone is like, "No, you're being very sensitive. You can't hold things up like a man." No. If anyone is toxic to your own level that you measure toxicity in your life, kick them out. Uh, Stop talking to them. It's easy, because as a man, if you want to be the man that follows every every direction that the wind takes you in, then definitely people will take that ride with you and take you for granted. But if you're someone that would be uh, toxic, any toxic thing around me, I don't want it. Yeah, get rid of them. Number four, never date. Oh, don't be with the person who's always unavailable. And, gentlemen, I have made these mistakes from the past. In the past, I would have dated people who are not really available, And oh, they'll be, oh, Chris, I was at work. I came from work. I was tired. I slept, and all this bunch of excuses and everything. And yeah, in the end, those relationships, they never really flourished to become something great. Why? Because they were unavailable. And this level of unavailability, we can even take it a little bit further and say it's not just when you are in a relationship, even brotherhood. If you have a brother that when you need them, they are not available, then yeah, leave. Because otherwise, what you're creating, you're having brothers who cannot be relied on. And if they cannot be relied on, then it's just better for you to call the whole thing off and leave it. Because what's the point of me having you here in this life, and when I need you, I cannot have that access to you? There's no point, gentlemen. I have been there, being the guy that is always begging, oh yeah, so are you going to create time to talk? And yeah, it never really ended well. So that was the fourth one. And finally, you should never give up or allow anyone to belittle your ambitions or your dreams or anything. It's like, okay, you've always wanted to start that podcast, or you've always wanted to create that thing, or to move to another place, or move to another town, or even move to another country. But when you tell that to people, they're like, no, you can't do this. The naysayers, we call them. It's high time for you to avoid having the naysayers in your ears, and they tell them, okay, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Because otherwise, they will keep on killing your momentum, anything that you want to do. Maybe, let's say, you wanted to start a new business where you're selling, let's say, maybe capes or sleepers or anything. But someone is telling you, no, you can't achieve this, it's impossible. You see, so and so tried that route and they never succeeded. You can't afford to have this constant noise in your ears and still think that people will respect it. No, they're not going to respect it. So, gentlemen, those are the 5 major things that I will tell you today not to accept in your life. And if they do happen, it's high time for you to call it done. Finish those relationships, and maybe it's high time for you to start focusing now on other things that are more meaningful to you, things that will add more value to your life. And by the way, setting these boundaries as men, out of the 5 major things that I've told you about anyone disrespecting you, I've told you about being taken for granted or toxic people around you, number 3. Number 4, I told you about being with a person who's never available. And finally, I said, people that belittle your dreams and ambition. No, never allow it. And the moment it just starts happening, all that you have to do is game short, end that game, never look behind. And you'll realize, oh, I did myself a very good service for doing this thing that I decided to embark on. And that's it for today. I'll see you guys in the next one.